Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bookercast, the podcast where books come to life.
And I'm so excited to dive into another amazing story with all of you.
Whether you're a bookworm or just love a good story, this is the place for you.
Every episode, we explore incredible books, talk about their stories and characters, and share insights that'll make you fall in love with reading all over again.
All right, let's not keep you waiting any longer. Get comfortable, and let's jump right into it.
Sounds good.
Welcome to another deep dive. This time we'll be looking at Ariel Lawhon's The Frozen River.
Sounds chilly.
It is both literally and figuratively. The Frozen River takes place in late 1700s Hallowell, Maine.
Okay.
And this setting, with its, harsh winter winds and unforgiving landscape,
Yeah.
it really sets the stage for the chilling mystery at the heart of this book.
I see.
The story follows Martha Ballard.
Okay.
She's a midwife and healer
Interesting.
who finds herself in the middle of a murder investigation.
Oh, wow.
And this really forces her to challenge every assumption she had about her community.
So she's not just delivering babies.
No, not just delivering babies. She's delivering justice, or at least trying to. What really struck me about The Frozen River is how it uses this historical fiction genre to create this really suspenseful page-turner,
Right.
while also offering this really insightful look into the lives of women during that era.
It's incredible how Lawhon manages to do both. You get this gripping mystery, but you also walk away with a deeper understanding of the challenges
Yes.
and the triumphs that women faced
Absolutely.
in that time period.
And Martha's position as a midwife, it's not just a plot device.
It's so much more than that.
Right. It gives her this unique perspective on the community.
Exactly.
Like this special access to the secrets and vulnerabilities of the people around her. So let's dive into the main plot now.
Okay.
We have a body found encased in the frozen Kennebec River.
The Kennebec.
Yep, the Kennebec. The victim's name is Joshua Burgess.
Okay.
And while his death is initially ruled an accident, Martha, with her medical knowledge, she suspects foul play.
Right. From the start.
From the get-go, like she senses that there's something off about the official explanation. What did you find most captivating about how Lawhon sets up this mystery?
I was really drawn to how Lawhon uses Martha's perspective to hint at these deeper secrets.
Oh, I see.
That are lurking beneath the surface. For example, early in the book.
Martha starts to pick up on these subtle inconsistencies
Ooh.
in the accounts of Joshua's death, like things that other characters dismiss or just completely overlook.
Yeah.
And Lawhon strategically drops these little clues, like breadcrumbs,
Leading you deeper into the mystery.
Exactly.
And so you as the reader, you start to question everything right alongside Martha.
You can't help but get swept up in her suspicions.
Exactly. And the suspense just keeps building and building from there.
Absolutely.
But of course, as Martha starts digging deeper, she hits some major roadblocks.
Like what?
Well, first off, you have these harsh winter conditions.
Right, that's a given.
Then there's this whole community that's just so quick to dismiss her suspicions.
Yeah.
And then on top of all that, you have the societal constraints placed on women during that time.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, imagine trying to conduct a murder investigation when everyone expects you to be silent and subservient.
Yeah, it's a recipe for frustration. Oh, absolutely.
And you really feel that struggle throughout the book.
You really do. You really do.
And I think it's important to point out that Lawhon's portrayal of resilience here, it goes beyond the typical strong female character trope.
It's deeper than that.
It is. Martha's strength is about her intellectual curiosity.
Yes.
It's her refusal to back down even when it puts her reputation or safety at risk.
Right.
And you see this really clearly when she confronts the town council.
Oh, yes, about Rebecca Foster.
Yeah, about ignoring Rebecca's assault.
Right. Even though speaking up could totally ostracize her from the community.
It's a powerful moment, yeah. It is. It speaks volumes about the price of justice, especially for women back then.
Totally, totally. It's like she's constantly walking this tightrope between fulfilling her expected duties as a wife and a mother.
As dictated by society.
Exactly. And then also pursuing this burning desire to find the truth.
It's a tough balancing act.
Must be exhausting.
Oh, absolutely. And that tension is what makes her such a compelling character, I think.
I agree. She's not a superhero,
No.
She's a real woman.
Dealing with real issues.
Facing real challenges, both internal and external.
Absolutely.
So speaking of challenges,
Yes.
let's talk about some of the other key players in this story.
Okay. Sounds good.
Starting with Ephraim, Martha's husband. Now, this is a time when women were often seen as property
Right.
their opinions disregarded.
Yes.
But Ephraim is incredibly supportive of Martha's endeavors.
That's unusual for the time.
Very much so. He encourages her independence, her intellectual pursuits, which is pretty remarkable for the late 1700s.
You don't see that very often in historical fiction, or in history for that matter.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on their relationship?
I think it offers a refreshing contrast to the prevailing societal norms of the time.
It does.
They're partners in every sense of the word.
Yeah.
Intellectually, emotionally, it makes Ephraim a fascinating character to me.
I agree.
Because he challenges the reader's assumptions about men in that era.
Absolutely.
He's not threatened by Martha's intelligence or her desire for justice.
He actually seems to admire those qualities.
He does. He really does.
It's beautiful.
It is.
I love how the scenes between Martha and Ephraim bring a kind of warmth to the story amidst all the coldness and suspicion.
Just like this little beacon of hope
Yes.
in this harsh, frozen world.
Okay, so now let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum.
The villain.
Well, and not exactly a villain, but definitely a menacing figure.
Okay, who are we talking about?
Joseph North.
Ah, Joseph North.
He's powerful, shrouded in secrets,
Mm-hmm.
and his role and everything that's unfolding,
Yeah.
it's unsettling, to say the least.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What struck you about Lawhon's portrayal of him?
Well, she doesn't make him a stereotypical villain.
Good.
He's complex, even charismatic at times,
Mm-hmm.
but there's always this underlying sense of menace.
Right.
You get the feeling that he's capable of just about anything.
To protect himself.
To protect his interests, yes.
Mm.
And it feels like he represents this larger theme of corruption and abuse of power that women like Martha had to constantly contend with.
Especially back then.
Especially back then.
You mentioned earlier that Lawhon uses this historical fiction genre
Yes.
to tell the story. Could you talk a little bit more about how that genre plays a role in the development of the story so far?
Well, you know, it's crucial to remember that the Frozen River,
Yeah.
it's not just a made-up tale.
Right.
It's really grounded in historical research.
Interesting.
Lawhon weaves in these real-life figures and events into her narrative.
Okay.
And this adds such a layer of authenticity to the story.
I can see that.
Like, I found myself Googling some of these characters.
Right.
Yeah, wanting to learn more about their lives and how they fit into the bigger historical context.
It makes the story come alive.
It really does. And it's like she's giving a voice to those who are often silenced in those traditional historical accounts.
The women, the marginalized, the everyday people.
Exactly.
Whose stories often get overlooked.
It's bringing their experiences to the forefront.
Which is so important.
So important.
It's amazing how Lawhon uses those little details of everyday life in the late 1700s.
The births, the deaths.
Exactly, the gossip even.
It paints such a vivid picture.
Doesn't it? You really feel like you're transported back in time.
Totally. And speaking of those everyday realities, let's talk about the Ballard children.
Okay.
Each of them is grappling with their own unique challenges.
Right.
Challenges that really reflect these broader themes of resilience and justice.
Absolutely. Take Jonathan, for instance. His relationship with Sally Pierce.
Oh, right. And the unexpected pregnancy.
Throws a wrench into the family dynamics.
For sure.
And forces him to confront the consequences of his actions.
It's a classic coming-of-age story.
But set against this backdrop of societal expectations.
Exactly. And personal accountability.
What did you find most interesting about his storyline?
I was really struck by how Lawhon uses it to explore this idea of redemption. Redemption, huh?
Yeah, Jonathan makes mistakes, but he also shows this willingness to take responsibility and make amends.
Which is huge.
It is. And that theme of redemption
Yeah.
it echoes throughout the novel.
In other characters, too.
Yeah, like these characters are constantly faced with choices. Choices that test their moral compass.
Right.
And it's not always about black and white, you know?
There are shades of gray.
Exactly. And Lawhon doesn't shy away from that complexity.
Which makes it feel more realistic.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so amidst all this family drama, the mystery surrounding Joshua Burgess's death, it takes another twist.
What happens?
Well, remember Dr. Page?
The town physician.
Yes. He ruled Joshua's death an accidental drowning.
Right. Right.
Martha isn't buying it.
She still suspects foul play.
She does. Her medical expertise tells her there's more to the story. And she's determined to prove it.
So it becomes more than just solving a crime.
Exactly. It's about challenging the established order. Going up against the powers that be.
The powers that be, exactly.
Yeah.
People like Joseph North, who have a vested interest in maintaining the status quo.
Even if it means hiding the truth.
even if it means hiding the truth.
That's where the theme of justice really comes into focus.
It does. It does. Martha sees how the system often fails to protect the vulnerable.
Especially women.
Especially women, yes. And her pursuit of the truth becomes this fight against that injustice.
This quest to give a voice to the silenced.
Powerful stuff, isn't it?
It is, and it's most apparent in her determination to uncover the truth about Rebecca Foster's assault.
Oh, right, when the town council just wanted to sweep it all under the rug.
Yeah, but Martha refuses to let it go.
She sees the pain, the fear in Rebecca's eyes.
She knows that justice demands more than silence.
It's inspiring, really.
It is. It makes you think about all the women throughout history who have fought similar battles, often unseen and unheard.
Their stories deserve to be told.
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of historical fiction.
It connects us to those stories.
Gives voice to the voiceless.
And helps us learn from the past.
And hopefully apply those lessons to the present.
Exactly. But as this investigation unfolds, Martha finds herself in increasingly dangerous situations.
Oh, no.
She's threatened, intimidated, her own life is put at risk.
It's getting intense.
It is. But despite all that,
Yeah.
she refuses to back down.
Her commitment to justice is unwavering.
It really is. But it also shows the risks involved in challenging the status quo.
Speaking truth to power can come at a cost.
It can. It definitely can.
It's a reminder of the courage and resilience of women like Martha.
Women who refuse to be silenced or intimidated.
Lawhon's writing is brilliant in these moments.
The suspense just builds and builds.
She weaves together these multiple storylines,
And perspectives.
keeping you on the edge of your seat.
Wondering who to trust.
It's like a puzzle.
It is. And every time the river thaws,
Yeah.
a new secret is revealed.
That's like the landscape itself is pushing the truth to the surface.
Exactly. It's like the frozen river becomes this powerful symbol throughout the novel.
What do you think it symbolizes?
Well, on one level,
Yeah.
it represents the hidden truths
Uh-huh.
that lie beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic community.
I see. Like the secrets are frozen under the ice.
Exactly. And as the ice melts,
The truth is revealed.
the truth comes out.
And what about the fox and her silver kits?
Ah, yes, that recurring motif.
What do you make of that imagery?
Well, the fox, to me, represents resilience.
Resilience.
You know, this ability to survive in a harsh environment.
Right, right.
And then the silver kits, with their rarity and beauty,
Yeah.
they symbolize hope and renewal.
Hope and renewal. That's interesting.
It's like they represent the possibility of a brighter future.
Even amidst the darkness.
Exactly. Even amidst the darkness and uncertainty of the present.
That duality is really powerful.
It is. And I think it speaks to the overall message of the book.
Which is?
Well, Lawhon isn't sugarcoating the realities of life in the late 1700s.
Yeah, it was a brutal time.
Especially for women.
Right.
But she's also suggesting that even in the face of adversity, there's always hope.
Always a potential for change.
Always. Always.
Okay.
Okay, so as we approach the climax of the story, I want to highlight one pivotal moment
Okay.
that really underscores these themes of survival and resilience.
Which is?
The diphtheria outbreak.
Oh, right. The epidemic that sweeps through the community.
It's devastating.
Heartbreaking.
And it's a stark reminder of just how fragile life was back then.
The constant threat of disease?
Of death?
It's a lot to process.
It is. But even amidst all this suffering,
Yeah.
Martha's strength and compassion shine through.
She loses 3 of her own daughters.
Right, it's unimaginable.
It's a devastating blow.
It is, but she perseveres.
She keeps going?
She keeps going. She continues to serve her community.
Tending to the sick and dying.
That's remarkable.
It really is. What did you think about how Jonathan's survival in the icy river at the beginning seems to mirror Martha's strength during the diphtheria outbreak?
You're right. It's like those two events are connected somehow.
Like the book is saying that resilience isn't just individual.
It's something a community can embody.
It's this collective strength.
Exactly. What are your thoughts, listener?
Do you see that connection too?
And it's important to note that Martha's resilience isn't portrayed as effortless.
She experiences grief, anger, doubt.
Real human emotions.
She doesn't just shrug it all off.
No, she feels it all deeply.
And she never gives up.
She keeps fighting
For what's right.
for what she believes in.
That's true strength.
And it's that unwavering commitment to justice that ultimately leads her to the truth about Joshua Burgess's death.
She uncovers the culprit.
Exposes the secrets.
It's a satisfying moment. It is, but also bittersweet.
Justice is served, but not without sacrifice.
The scars of the past remain.
A reminder of the lasting impact of trauma.
And the long road to healing.
But amidst all the darkness,
Yeah.
there's this glimmer of hope.
This sense that even in the face of adversity,
Right.
the human spirit can find a way to endure, to rebuild, and to move forward.
Absolutely. And I think Lawhon does a brilliant job of capturing that.
She doesn't offer easy answers,
Right.
but she leaves us with this feeling that even in the darkest of times,
Right.
there's always this potential for growth, for change, for a brighter future.
As we've been discussing this story,
Mm-hmm.
it's become increasingly clear that the setting itself
Right.
is so much more than just a backdrop.
Oh, absolutely.
The frozen landscape of Hallowell, the unforgiving winter, the ever-present Kennebec River,
The Kennebec.
they all play such a significant role in shaping the characters.
And the plot itself.
And the plot, yes. What did you find most striking about Lawhon's use of setting?
Well, I think the way she weaves the setting into the narrative, it almost becomes like another character.
It does.
The frozen river especially, it's such a powerful symbol throughout the novel.
I agree. What do you think it represents?
Well, on one hand, it's a source of life and death, right?
Yeah.
The river provides sustenance, but it can also be incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
And then on another level, it's this barrier and a passageway, It separates communities, but it also connects them.
I see.
And I think most importantly, it's this reflection of the secrets and the emotions that are hidden beneath the surface.
Of this seemingly quiet community.
Exactly.
It's like the river is this metaphor for Martha's own journey of discovery.
Oh, I like that.
As she digs deeper into the investigation,
Yeah.
she uncovers these layers of truth that were previously hidden.
Like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Yes. And just as the river can be both beautiful and dangerous,
Right.
so too is the pursuit of justice.
It can be treacherous.
It can be. And we also have this recurring motif of the fox and her silver kits. What do you make of that imagery?
Well, the fox, to me, it represents the sort of, cleverness and adaptability.
Right.
The ability to survive against all odds.
Okay.
And then the silver kits, with their unique coloring,
Yes.
they symbolize hope and new beginnings.
I see.
It's like even in the harshest of environments,
Right.
life finds a way to not only endure,
Yeah.
but to thrive.
It's a beautiful image.
It is.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive on the frozen river,
Yeah.
I want to touch on something that really stood out to me.
Okay.
The way Lawhon balances historical accuracy with fictional storytelling.
It's a delicate balance.
It is. How do you think she achieves that?
Well, she clearly did her research.
Right.
She draws on historical records, diaries, primary sources to create this really believable portrait of life in the late 1700s.
Okay.
But she also uses her creative license to weave in these fictional characters and storylines that enhance the drama and the suspense.
And it works. It's like she's breathing new life into the past,
She is.
allowing us to connect with these historical figures
Right.
in a way that feels so personal and relatable.
And that's the power of historical fiction, isn't it?
It is. It transports us to another time
Immerses us in a different world.
and makes us feel like we're experiencing history firsthand.
And in doing so,
Yeah.
it can challenge our perceptions of the past.
Oh, absolutely.
It prompts us to question the narratives we've been told
Right.
and to consider alternative perspectives.
So important. So as we conclude our deep dive into the frozen river, I want to leave you with a few questions to ponder.
Okay.
What resonated most with you about this story? What insights did you gain about the lives of women during that era?
Good questions.
How did the setting and symbolism enhance your understanding of the narrative? And what lessons about resilience, justice, and the pursuit of truth?
The big questions.
The big questions, yes. Can we apply to our own lives today? The frozen river is more than just a historical mystery. It's a story about the enduring power of the human spirit,
Right.
the complexities of truth and justice,
Yeah.
and the importance of giving voice to those who are often silenced.
It's a story that stays with you
It does. It really does.
long after you finish reading it.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration.
Until then.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those book lights burning.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of Bookercast. We hope you enjoyed diving into it as much as we did. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. Your support means the world, and we can't wait to hear your thoughts on this episode.
Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this episode with your fellow book lovers. And let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. See you in the next deep dive. Bye for now, and happy reading.